If a platform promises you 24-hour payouts, $4 million in funding, and a 4.5-star rating on Trustpilot, you should still read the fine print. Today I'm reviewing FundedNext, a platform that's been around since March 2022, with over 4 years in operation, based in the UAE. And I'm going to tell you exactly what traders should look for before buying a platform from FundedNext. First, the basics. FundedNext has a soaring 4.5-star rating on Trustpilot. Well, that's not nothing. They're also based in the UAE, which is far more reputable than many offshore jurisdictions. And let's be clear, I'm not here to chill. I'm just here to review based on what matters to the trader for your money and your trading career. So here's what I'll go through. I'll go through their pricing and challenge types, their scaling plan, the funded experience versus the challenge phase, the payouts, the prohibited practices, and also which kind of trader should be trading this. So let's get through it. So FundedNext operates on the CFD markets and the futures market right now. They fund you all the way from 5K all the way to 200K. And this is their pricing, and you only have 4 options. They have their Stellar challenges. That's the name they use. They call them Stellar. You have Stellar 1-step, Stellar 2-step, Stellar Right, and Stellar Instant. So with the Stellar 2-step, you get 6K. You can get funding all the way from 6K to 200K, with the cheapest being $59.99 to the most expensive one being $1,100. Also, you get the Stellar 1-step, which is 1-step challenge. You get the Stellar Light, which is the cheaper one. It starts from the 5K to 200K, and the Stellar Instant, where you get instant funding without any challenge. So let's compare the types of challenges that they provide here. So we have the Stellar 1-step, of which consists of a 1-step, 1 phase, you can call it, or the standard one, which is the Stellar 2-step, which is the one we highly recommend. And FundedNext, they provide a reward for your challenge phase, which is good actually. It's the only one that's providing in the market right now. They have a profit target of 8 to 5 on the 2-step, and a daily loss limit of 5% with a max loss limit of 10%. Drawdowns are calculated on a balance based, not like equity on the other types of. We have no time limit with a minimum trading days of 5 days here, and a leverage of 1 to 100. On the Stellar Light, you also get 2 challenges, where you get phase 1 8%, phase 2 4%, but also the daily loss limit goes down to 4% and the maximum loss limit goes down to 8%. It's also balance based. And we have the Stellar Instant, of which you get instant funding, but with the maximum loss limit of 6%. And the drawdown is calculated on a trailing basis, with the leverage of 1 to 30 and the payout of 1 to 80. So that's it, comparing their packages, and we could also compare their pricing. So the pricing it's pretty standard. On the 2-step, we have 59 for the 6K, $120 for the 15K, and all the way to $1,100 for the 200K. So it's pretty competitive pricing, I can say. If you're budget conscious, that $33 entry point is among the cheapest in the industry, but cheap doesn't matter if the rules are impossible. So let's keep going. Here's where FundedNext stands out. Their scaling out plan, which is actually detailed, not just vague promises. Each time you meet the criteria, you're scaled up by 25% of your initial capital. And what are those criteria? It must be within 2 months, and you must have requested 4 payouts, and on each cycle you must have made 4%, with a maximum allocation of $4 million. That's for Stellar 1-step, Stellar 2-step, and Stellar Right. But for the Stellar Instant, you could be scaled up to 10 times your initial balance, but also have to make more than 10% cumulative growth, and also must have requested at least 1 payout. For Stellar Instant, the maximum funding is $2 million. So overall, for the maximum possible funding for the Stellar model is $4 million. Well, that's really large amount of money. But remember, scaling is conditional. If you don't hit the 4% growth in one cycle within 2 months, you don't move up. Let's talk about the funded experience versus the challenge experience or the challenge phase. This is where most YouTubers skip. What changes after you pass? Most rules stay the same, but some become strict after you pass and become a funded trader. For instance, copy trading. With FundedNext, you're allowed on the challenge phase to copy trade even with a copier, no problem. But once you're funded, it's completely banned. Strategy flexibility. On the challenge phase, you're allowed to use any strategy. But once you're funded, you have to use the same strategy that you used on the challenge phase. You can't change, or else you lose your account or you'll be terminated. News trading, it's completely allowed without any restriction on the challenge phase. But once you're funded, there's a 10-minute window of where if you trade the news 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after the news has taken, you're more likely to be given only 40% of your profit from the news trade. And if you take the loss is yours. So those are some of the rules. Now, payouts, this is where FundedNext markets themselves very aggressively. They claim to pay you out in under 24 hours, or they'll give you $1,000. So, and I think the claims are pretty true, as you can see here from their performance reward section on their Discord group. Like May 2nd, that's today. A lot of payouts, you see, a lot of really happy traders receiving their payouts. Or even here, we have the 5-figure payouts. People are getting their payouts, and doing my research here, I haven't seen anybody getting rejected for their payout. So it's really good seeing a company that's paying you out, I mean, a delay is not bad, according to my view, but consistent payouts are really good. I let them know that I'll be paid out even after a day or two, but not getting payout, So something reputable, and if really they are paying you out, it's a legit firm. So on the payout side, they are really good. I think so. Sticking with the payouts here, with FundedNext, you get 15% of your challenge rewards on your first payout, of which on the Stellar 2 step, you'll have to wait for 21 days to request for your first payout, but you will have to request bi-weekly for your subsequent payout. There is no on-demand payouts on the Stellar 1 step, Stellar 2 step, and Stellar Right, but there is on-demand payout on the Stellar Instant. So it's pretty nice on the payout section. Now here's the part that will get your account terminated if you're not paying attention. FundedNext has a list of prohibited practices. Let me learn them through quickly, because ignorance is not an excuse with platforms. Let's go through them. On their website, the FAQ sections list the prohibited practices. We have gambling behavior. They define gambling behavior as typically risking using excessive margin, which is 70% or more. So they expect a professional trader to risk no more than 1% at a given time and maintain your margin usable within 20 to 30%. So that's gambling. Quick strike method, they define it as a ultra-fast trading strategy where traders exploit the financial market by capitalizing on brief market movement through a high volume of trades and typically holding positions for a few seconds. So basically, we're just saying it's a scalper. I don't know if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a definition of a scalper. Also, high-frequency trading, this is in second, and you're using high-speed telecommunication networks, or EAs. You're executing a massive number of trades in milliseconds. That's high-frequency trading. It's restricted with FundedNext, And also copy trading. I talked about it before. Copy trading is really around on the challenge, but on the funded program, it's not around. Hedging is where you're buying and selling the same or related assets, but here they define it as the same assets. You can't be buying gold then selling gold, so it's restricted with FundedNext. Any form of arbitrage trading. So arbitrage is the practice of exploiting price discrepancies across different markets to generate risk-free profits. They explain it in the FAQ, you can pass through it. Also, T-scalping is another way of scalper. So trading shorter time frames but with high volume of trades. It's not allowed. Grid trading is where you place a buy and a sell order while the price is still at the middle. They define that there's a risk of both orders being opened, so you could get more losses. So it's also not allowed. We have latency trading, executing trades based on delayed market data. It's not allowed. And account trolling. Account trolling is basically you just buy multiple valuations, risk them. For instance, buying 10, risking like all of them, then in luck, in sheer hope to pass one or two. So they say this method relies on probability rather than skill. So they want a skilled professional, not lucky professional. One-sided betting, that's pretty self-explanatory. You're opening a lot of trades on one side. It's not around. And hyperactivity, they define hyperactivity as an account is hyperactive if it hits or surpasses 200 trades or 200 server messages in a single day. The server messages or trades include you adjusting your stop loss, take profits, so you don't have to be very hyperactive in FundedNext. You should know that. Also, using platform or data freezing due to demo server errors is not around. Account sharing or device sharing is completely banned. So those are some of the prohibited strategies or risks or practices, whatever you call them, that are not allowed with FundedNext, and you risk losing your account if you're doing any of this. And here's the bottom line. Violation of these rules can lead to immediate account terminations. So read all the full terms before you buy. And based on these all rules, let me give you my honest take. If you're a scalper, I don't think this is the right farm for you. I don't know how you do it. I'm not a scalper. But if you can do it, do it. But don't risk violating over the hyperactivity, the tick scalping, all those hyper frequency trading. If you can't violate them and go, then go with it. But for the traders, just be keen and be really good with what you're doing. Know the rules, know when not to break the rules, because you could lose your account and it's money you've invested in it, and we are all having the same goal to get a payout. For swing traders, I think this is the right firm because there is weekend holding, there is news trading. Just be aware that 40% of the profits will be given to you if the trade closes on take profit during the 5-minute window. Otherwise, it's a good platform, and I think it's good for now. If you've done your research and you think FundedNext fits your own trading style, there's a link in the description. It's an affiliate link that supports this channel at no extra cost to you. If you have any thoughts about any other platform, all these platform, comment below, and if you want me to review any other platform, also comment below. Otherwise, if you like this video, like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.